Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to In My Bag. Today, I am lucky enough to be joined by the legendary Alex Morgan. Alex, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
We're very excited to talk with you about a lot of things, but we're going to start off with your work with Stella Chewy. I'd love to just hear a little bit about more about what you're doing and why this partnership made sense for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this partnership makes total sense because I have two rescue dogs, Blue and Kona. I had one from Florida 5 years ago, and I thought that he needed a friend. And so we found Kona, who was returned by their owner, and we were lucky enough to be paired up with her. And just to have really, furry children in the house is something that I've always wanted, and I always thought it was important to look at adopting dogs because there's so many dogs in shelters, unfortunately, that don't get to live the life that they should. So that was one reason that I looked to get two rescue dogs. And when Stella and Chewy's kind of approached me about this partnership, I immediately gravitated towards it because they do everything that I stand for, and their founder Marie also has had two rescue dogs as well, and the entire brand is based on that. And so being also a furry dog mom, I obviously wanted to be able to represent food that my dogs liked, and not liked, loved, and wanted to be able to promote adopting dogs, because there's adopting pets in general, because there are so many in shelters.
Yeah, as a fellow adopted pet person, I couldn't agree more with you. It's an amazing thing and obviously very important. How are they getting along with your daughter Charlie?
Oh my goodness. Well, the older dog Blue, he's like he's so attached. And right now, unfortunately, we're in England and he's in Florida, and they're both missing each other. The younger one, Kona, is still kind of struggling with the lack of attention, being that middle sibling. The middle sibling dilemma is real, even with dogs.
My dog Oscar is the exact same, and he is the younger of the two, and he was the
Yeah,
rescue dog. So it's taken a little bit longer for him to he now follows George around, my son George, and he'll like smell his butt a little bit and stuff like that. So he's
yeah,
gravitating a little bit more towards my son, but
for
it's a
sure.
challenge.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. But yeah, it's so fun to see like Charlie be able to grow up with animals, and just like now when we're out and about strolling around, she like immediately smiles whenever she sees a dog.
Where did you come up with the name Charlie, by the way?
I don't know. I think that we were looking for like just really gender neutral names. We wanted something that wasn't super common, but also didn't want to go too off the beaten path. And oh God, I think we went through like 100 names, and eventually Charlie just stuck, and she fits it perfectly.
Yeah, we got the book of the 2,500 names, so I think we got you beat just by a little bit. But how has having a child changed your focus, or how has it impacted your focus? I guess is the better question.
Um, well, I feel like now I don't have all the free time that I used to have. So I feel like just life balance is very important, especially getting back into playing football, which they call it football over in England, not soccer. So I've gotten used to that. And it's just, it's amazing to just be able to not only learn a lot about myself as a new mom, but be able to see my husband grow into an amazing role as a dad, be able to continue to grow our family, basically have a family of 5 now, including our pups. And it's been like such a great journey over the last 6 months. And I've really, really missed playing football, but I knew that I had to be patient with my body. And so that's why it's taken a bit longer to get back on the field.
I'm reading a book right now where Tom Watson talks about the fact that he lost a little bit of his edge once he started having kids because he wanted to spend so much more time with him. You can't practice as much. Have you felt that at all so far?
My first week back, while I was here, it's like 7, 8 hour days, just because, just to get to training, and then, all the meetings and this and that. So by the time I got home that first week, I was just like, just really distraught because I wasn't used to it. And I was like rushing home. I was trying to be the last one there and the first one to leave. And I realized that like I needed to find more of a balance. So after the first week, I kind of transitioned. Like I felt like I adjusted a lot better. But it was a little bit of an adjustment initially, but now like I feel like I have a good amount of balance. But also she's not crawling or moving. She's not too mobile yet. So I think that it'll be a different story in a few months here.
Yeah, for sure. Gear up for that because once they start
Yeah.
moving, it's a totally new game. You mentioned the other day that you had a little small setback that was preventing you from opening the season with the Tottenham Hotspur's women's team. What happened?
Yeah. I mean, when you're growing a baby, I think it just takes everything. And it takes a long time to recover, it, my ligaments, my bones, my cartilage, everything. So, my knee ended up flaring up, unfortunately, as I got back into team training. I could have probably pushed through it, but I knew that wasn't the best for me long term. And so I thought, okay, let's take a few weeks where I can get some good treatment on my knee and make sure that I'm 100% when I'm playing rather than 90%. And so that's kind of situation now. So I'm pretty much ramping up into training this week, which I'm pretty excited about.
Do you have any expectation about when you might be back to that 100%?
I hope within the next 2 weeks. It's kind of like a day-to-day thing, but as long as as long as everything goes according to plan, which of course nothing does, then I'll be on the field within the next 2 weeks. So I'm feeling pretty good though.
And then gearing up for the Olympics, what are you hearing right now about how they're preparing to host those Olympics specifically for the athletes?
I feel like I'm pretty in the dark still right now. I think that the Olympic Committee might still be waiting to figure it out. So as of right now, I haven't heard much, unfortunately. But also, I think that 2020 is the year of patience, and so not just for me, but for everyone. So I'm just sitting tight and hoping that we do have an Olympics because it would be a real shame if that was canceled. But it's looking optimistic.
That's good to hear. I was going to ask, has it been frustrating? Obviously, you mentioned the word patience, but has it been at all frustrating for you? The kind of the uncertainty and also the fact that they were already canceled or not canceled, but postponed once.
Um, no, I feel like at this point, you have to understand that things are changing like every day, every week. And so even when I came to England to play, I knew that a week later or a month later, there could be another lockdown, and football could be torn away from me again. So I feel like just going into from March on, I feel like everyone just has kind of needed to just go with the flow and just realize that this virus is ever evolving and people are always trying to stay safe. And so with that, different countries have different regulations, and I've just tried to stay as calm and be like happy in all different areas of my life, and then like that won't really distract me too much from what I love doing or from my happiness.
You've been a big proponent of women's rights and equal pay and equal exposure. I'd love to know, how would you change the way that women are marketed, female athletes are marketed, specifically with soccer, but in general as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot of campaigns or things that I've been a part of that were my decision, and I'm really happy with the decisions that I made. And I think that like women have the ability to make those decisions, whether they want to be marketed in a certain way. I think that there is sometimes um, I think there's a double standard sometimes when it comes to female athletes and male athletes in particular. And I'm just saying that because that's my background. But I think in a lot of areas of work, there are a little bit of a double standard for females, just in the workforce in general, always trying to be more approachable and smile more and make sure that you have, enough time for your fans and for everyone. And so I think that we're really giving as female athletes. And I think like on the contrary, I don't know if male athletes always look at all different areas like we do in order to be super successful. And so I think that's quite a double standard when it comes to marketing. And I think that there's different things, but I think that it has progressed to a way that I know for myself and for a lot of my teammates, we have a lot of partnerships that we're really proud of. And Stella Chewy's is one that like I'm super proud of. And so when I look at playing football and how it gave me this opportunity to be able to partner with an amazing brand like this, you can't really be mad about the fact that like football doesn't always, might not always give you everything financially that you're looking for in value in terms of comparing yourself to men. But when it comes to looking at the exposure I think that women's football has, like looking at the 2019 World Cup and even before that, it's just continuing to progress and progress. And so when I look at a brand like Stella Chewy's, I'm really happy that we were able to partner up together, because I think it's something that I am really passionate about, and I'm able to really use my platform for these amazing animals that need adoption. And so when we look at marketing, it's kind of that sort of thing that I'm really proud of, and I think that a lot of female athletes have been on the forefront of.
Do you wish you saw more male athletes, giving women athletes more exposure? So we've seen like Russell Wilson and LeBron James have become huge proponents of, women's professional athletes. Do you want to see more of that from other professional athletes, specifically soccer players?
Well, of course, I think that it's so important for men and women to support each other. But I think with women in sports, we weren't always accepted or respected in sports. In a lot of different countries, they're still not accepted or respected in sports, not only by peers or by men, but by their family as well, because of maybe the history of the society or culture. So it is extremely important, I think, for men to continue to support their female counterparts in sports. And I am going to continue to fight for women's rights and to have an equal seat at the table in sports. But I think that we're going to need to do it together. It's going to take more than just every single female athlete fighting for that.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Alex, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Good luck with this season and hopefully with the Olympics as well.
Yeah, thank you. And I also wanted to just add that I didn't get a chance to say it in the beginning, but this month actually, well, it's not November yet, it's almost November. But November is Stella Chewy's second annual Adopt a Senior Pet Month. And it's an amazing campaign, and it's why I'm here speaking with you today. But I just wanted to put that out there that whenever during this month, if anyone wants to adopt a senior pet 7 years or older, which would be an incredible thing, not only for that animal, dog or cat, but also for the human as well. All those adoption fees will be waived by Stella Chewy's if you submit all the receipts on their website. So it's a pretty incredible campaign to be a part of, and having 2 rescue pups and you also having a rescue as well. It just really hits home for me. And so let's get so many more pets adopted like there was during the beginning of the pandemic. Let's continue it.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I'm happy you brought that up. A perfect way to wrap things up. So thank you so much for that as well.
Thank you.